Good evening, everyone. I am so glad for you to be here, and I would like to take just a moment and welcome Dr. Doyle and Dr. Trimble from our high school office to kick us off tonight. So I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Doyle and Dr. Trimble.
Dr. Bradshaw, good evening, everyone. Todd Trimble, the Executive Area Directors for the high school office. I'm joined this evening by my colleague, Marilyn Doyle, also an Executive Area Director for the high school office. And we're very excited to be with you tonight and glad you're able to join us. The title of tonight's presentation is College and Career Conversations. The facilitators for tonight's presentation are Nicole Gurley and Terry Ann Wright. Once again, thank you for being here, and I will now turn it over to Nicole and Terry Ann.
So thank you, Nicole and Terry Ann. You can take it away.
Hi, I'm Nicole Gurley. I'm a college transition counselor for Orange County Public Schools. I started off as a school counselor for about 5 years, and now I've been in this role for about 7. So I go out into the high schools and help all of our students with college and career related activities in order to make sure that all of our students in OCPS have a post-secondary plan.
Good evening. My name is Terry Ann Wright, and I've been in the college arena for over 31 years, specializing in financial aid. I've been at OCPS for 19 years in the Career and Technical Education Department, overseeing the financial aid offices at the Orange Technical Colleges. And prior to that, I worked at Valencia for 12 years in the financial aid office. I would also like to introduce Brittany Dukes, who will be our moderator today and assisting us with the PowerPoint presentation and the Q&A questions.
Good evening, everyone.
Our objective for our time today is to empower you with the knowledge to support students in confidentially preparing, applying, enrolling, and succeeding in the college and career selection processes. This is an overview for some basic information to help you start this process. Your schools will also offer sessions throughout the year that will walk you through how to do the things we are sharing with you tonight. Next. Here is a snapshot of how we'll be spending our time today. This is important that we are talking about both college and career readiness and pathways. As facilitators, we'll be going back and forth and switching off presenting on these topics. When we are discussing these topics, such as college, Nicole will be presenting and sharing. And when we are talking about things specific to career, I will be presenting. So let's get started with our live session by reviewing our learning commitments and virtual procedures.
In order to get the most out of our time together, we have expectations and commitments that we will be utilizing. Let's take a moment to briefly review the information on this slide. These are our commitments to help us interact during our time together. We are making these commitments to you, and we ask that you make these commitments to each of us. When our expectations and commitments join together, we create an optimal virtual learning environment. Throughout our presentation today, we'll use the chat box so that we can hear from each other. Take a look at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You should see a speech bubble. This is the chat window. Make sure you select everyone when trying responses in the chat. Now that we have had the opportunity to share our commitments and expectations for today, let's take some time to build community. Community builders will help us build relationships with one another and will support collaborative interactions and discussions throughout the session. We want to know where everyone is from. Please type in the chat box what school your student attends. All right. Lake Nona, Freedom, West Orange, Boone, Apopka. We're getting everybody in here. Windermere University, Timber Creek. I haven't seen what high school we've missed yet. Oh, and a Freedom Middle School. Edgewater, Olympia. Apopka, Oak Ridge. Wow. So we definitely look like we're getting all, oh, I just saw Lake Buena Vista, so I'm going to go with all 22 high schools today. Welcome, everybody.
Let's take a moment and reflect on this quote. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation and hard work, from Colin Powell. Tonight we will talk about the preparation and hard work needed to support your students in being career and college ready. Next. First, let's look at where you currently are with the knowledge of college and career readiness. We want you to answer the question, where would you rate your knowledge of career and college readiness? In the chat box, using these selections, put another number 1, I have no idea, I've never done this before and this is my first step. Number 2, very minimal, I've started looking into it. And number 3, knowledgeable, I've had some experiences going through this process, so I feel pretty comfortable. And I'm seeing a lot of 2s and 3s, which is good. You're getting a head start. A few number 1s, which is great that you're here with us today. I think we're still going through, so I'm seeing a toss-up. We pretty much have a mixture of 1, 2s, and 3s, so this is going to be a great session for all of us to hear it again if you've already heard it or if this is your first time. So we do appreciate your interactive in the chat section. Next.
Our mission in OCPS is, with the support of families and the community, we create enriching and diverse pathways to lead our students to success. Tonight, we're going to focus on these 4 keys to college and career readiness to support the mission. First, think about, what is your student's career goal? What do they want to do after high school? What career do they want to prepare for? Second, know. Here are things you need to know to support your student: the appropriate path to meet the career goal and the high school graduation requirements. Third, act. It is critical to make a plan with your student. This plan starts with reaching out to the school counselor and/or the career specialist now. Don't wait. They can help you register for the right courses and complete the necessary tests that align with the career goal. Also, look into options for financial aid to determine where you can receive resources. Lastly, go. After you and your students have done all the preparation, hard work, go and make a decision to ensure a promising and successful future. While we are going through the presentation today, take notes on areas you have questions. We will stop throughout the presentation to answer any questions you may have. Here are some important steps for your student to take now to discover their interests and start planning for the future. It's not too early to start. You want your student to be prepared so they aren't in a position where they miss an opportunity because they didn't complete something. What is the next step you're going to talk with your student about? Please chat in the chat box. score. We will be talking about that a little bit tonight, yes. What is his career goals? College? Where does he want to go to college? Very important questions. When are they going to meet with their school counselor? Hopefully your students know how to make appointments with their school counselors, majors, dual enrollment. Lots of great questions to get our students going. Okay, next. At the high schools, we discussed these 5 after high school options. We call them post-secondary options. 4-year colleges to receive a bachelor's degree. 2-year colleges like Valencia to either complete 2 years and get an AA degree to transfer to a university to receive the bachelor's degree. Get an AS degree and have the option to go to work or transfer to a program at maybe UCF. Or to receive technical certifications, which you can complete at a technical school like Orange Technical College as well. Military is another option for our students to either go directly into a branch or commit to attend college first and start as a rank after. Lastly, if our students decide to go straight into work after high school, we recommend an apprenticeship program to receive training and schooling in a particular trade.
Before we go too far into this, let's take a little more time about career and technical education. This may be something you are not familiar with as a path. On the slides, there are some basics that we will explore more as we move through the presentation. So career and technical education prepares all students to be a career and college ready with core academic, employability, and technical job skill trades. Provides a real and relevant learning experiences that meet the needs of business and industry partners. It also builds a bridge between students and their future careers by creating a pipeline from the classroom to the workforce. Career pathways are available to high school students. There are currently a total of 33 dual enrollment programs being offered, and we'll talk about dual enrollment in a few slides ahead. And we like to call this Test Drive a Career. We have secondary CTE programs and Orange Technical College dual enrollment programs offered at the high schools and at Orange Technical College campuses. A career specialist is located on each traditional high school campus for assistance. And students who attend dual enrollment programs at the high schools or Orange Technical College campuses, it's free tuition. I will say that again, it is free tuition. And you can graduate from high school and complete their CTE program at one of our Orange Technical College campuses in a short amount of time, debt-free. That's very important. Then they can begin their career in the workforce.
Here are the requirements in order to graduate from high school. A student must have a 2.0 GPA and pass these classes. 4 Englishes, 3 maths, one has to be Algebra 1 and one has to be Geometry. 3 science credits, one of which has to be Biology. 3 social studies credits, 1 world history, 1 US history, and then half government and half economic credits. 1 performing art class, 1 credit of hope, which is a PE health combination course, and 8 elective credits. Within these 24 credits that I just named, 1 class does have to be online. There are also testing requirements for graduation. They need to pass a 10th grade ELA FSA and the Algebra 1 EOC. There are alternative assessments that can be used in order to pass these requirements. Besides the standard 24 credit diploma option, another option is to only take into account 18 of the credits, and you can still graduate with an 18 credit standard diploma. As a middle school student, students can also choose to be a part of an IB program starting in high school or an ACE program in high school. These diploma types have different requirements than the standard diploma, so you would need to check with each individual program if your student is interested in them.
So far, we have talked about dual enrollment opportunities, timelines, graduation testing requirements, and different types of diplomas. Please type any questions you have so far in the chat, and also be ready to unmute yourself and share if we can call on you for more information.
So AP courses are not required for graduation, but they do help in order to improve your chances for college. The AP IB program and ACE classes are all great improvements in order to try to get into a four-year college.
I see one about what is CTE, and CTE I mentioned a little earlier. It stands for Career in Technical Education, and that is part of our Orange Technical College campuses that offer career certificates.
We will still be discussing dual enrollment and Bright Futures further on in the presentation. Okay. So you would need to have to check with the IB programs and the ACE courses to see which high schools have those programs. IB and ACE are for advanced students, that is correct.
And if there are any questions we may have missed, we will be collecting these questions and answering them and sending them out as a resource document later on. So again, please be patient if we don't get to all of the questions today. We will make sure we do a snapshot of them and get them answered for you and send this out as a resource documentation.
And your school counselors at the high schools are a great resource to answer most of these questions. And if they don't have the answers, I'm sure they will know of somebody to get you those answers as well. Okay, so moving on to dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is open to secondary students who are attending public high school for both academic courses and technical courses. To enroll in dual enrollment academic courses, students must demonstrate a readiness to successfully complete college level work and have attained a qualifying grade point average. Participating students in any dual enrollment program meeting all established requirements will graduate from their home high school and be eligible to participate in extracurricular activities, including the graduation ceremony. There is no tuition or charge for books. In OCPS, we have multiple options for dual enrollment for both college and technical careers. We have partnerships with UCF, UF Online, Valencia, and Orange Technical College. Some high schools may have programs with FIU, Embry-Riddle, and or Seminole State College as well. These dual enrollment options are free for OCPS students. Each college has specific requirements. If interested, talk more about these options with the school counselors, college and career specialists, or career specialists at your student schools. They will share requirements to be eligible and what steps your student takes to apply. We have listed just an overview of all of the online or the dual enrollment programs for you.
Next, after what Nicole just mentioned about dual enrollment, Orange Technical College offers a program called Tech Express to Valencia College. And as you can see here on the slide, we have 40+ programs where you can receive Valencia College credit when you complete a certain technical college program. And as I mentioned, there are 40 programs that are eligible, which we will show you briefly in just a moment on another slide. What we are discussing and talking about Valencia College credit. We have 10 apprenticeship programs, and the credit can be applied to over 30 different associate and science degree programs at Valencia College. This is a great partnership that we have with Valencia through OCPS and with Orange Technical College, and it is well worth coming to. If your path to Orange Technical College, complete a certificate program, and then some of those certificate courses that you took transfer over to a credit if you should go on to Valencia. And as we mentioned earlier, there are 3 other components like UCF, UF, and so forth.
Okay, so really quickly, just so you are aware, most of the dual enrollment programs you can kind of merge together. So you could take a class at maybe Valencia your 10th grade year and then do UCF your 11th grade year, or UF online. So a lot of the different diploma types and dual enrollment programs you can kind of mix and match depending on the program. So our college application timeline, planning for college should begin in the 9th grade. Here are some things that students should be working on every year in high school. Every high school student and parent in Orange County have access to a college and career program called SCOIR, SCOIR. And that is on all students' launch pads. They can research colleges as well as take a career interest inventory called U-Science. So as you can see, every grade level needs to plan for rigorous courses, get involved, look at their college searching that can begin as early as 9th grade. Then comes senior year, which is an important year for organization in order to not miss requirements and deadlines for college applications. We usually recommend most applications be completed by November 1st of their senior year. Different checklists and guidelines can also be found on the College Board website. But as you can see, 12th grade gets really busy for college applications.
Next, we're going to talk a little bit with Orange Technical College campuses. And we're going to dig into the career path that we have through these different campuses. Real quickly, there is an Avalon campus that is out to the east side near UCF. We have a Mid-Florida campus, which is on the south side of Orlando. Orlando campus, which is central, downtown area. We have a West Side campus, which is on the west side in Winter Garden. And we have a Winter Park campus, which we also call East Side, near, obviously, into Winter Park area. I do want to share with you that we do offer school tours. So please contact which campus and program you may be interested in attending, and you can set up a tour. And we will go through the catalog in just a moment to share with you some information of some programs that we offer. And if you see if any of those are of interest to you, you can contact one of these campuses, and they will be happy to have you come out at a certain time and go through a tour of some of the classes that are already going on. And then you could see if maybe one of the careers there interests you, whether they have them for dual enrollment classes. And I did see earlier, dual enrollment does start as a junior. And so you can be in dual enrollment as a junior and a senior. And then if you haven't already completed the program, then you as an adult, when you leave high school, can complete the program at the campus itself. Next. Well, we have some exciting news. We have 55 careers at Orange Technical College, and we are going to be dropping a link, which you can see now in the chat. So if you want to click on that link, it should take you to the 55 careers, which is great. I see it on the screen right now. And I do want to share with you, this is with Orange Technical College, and we are accredited. We have high quality programs, and we are very affordable. So if your path isn't going straight from high school into college like Valencia, UCF, or another college, this is where we're talking today that there is another path that you can go down to for your career at a career certificate school. So please take a moment to open the document in the chat box and read through some of the highlighted careers we offer. And as you can see, very popular now, unfortunately due to the pandemic, we do have like the nursing, practical nursing. We have a lot of medical fields under the health science. We're getting back into lodging operations and fundamental foods and culinary with our restaurants. You can see we have human services like cosmetology and barbering, manufacturing. We have welding in that category. We have automotive services, diesel technician, and we go into architect. I'm just kind of going all over the map here. I'm sorry, but just trying to throw out some key programs. But this is a list of 55, so hopefully you were able to click on the link and take a look at some of these programs that we offer. And again, we're going to dive into a few of these in just a moment, but we have digital programs as well, and accounting, and veterinary assisting. So you can see all these types of careers. If something piques your interest, you can certainly come to one of our campuses. It takes less than a year sometimes to get through your certificate. It could be a little bit over a year, but as soon as you get your certificate, you go immediately into the workforce, because we do have a lot of community partnerships and business partnerships that we are able to make that connection, and you can go right into the workforce and begin your career. So now we're going to dive into a little bit here, and I have kind of a how-to on here, but Brittany is going to help me. Just first, let's go into the catalog, because we want to dive into and see some career program descriptions and what type of jobs are related to these programs. So first, we're going to go into the catalog. And here we're going to find some resources of how to find the career certificate programs that are aligned to career opportunities. And here we go. When you go into our website, which we have up there on the slide previously, you'll be able to go and find the catalog. And within the catalog, we have listed all 55 careers that I just mentioned briefly. And right now, we're just taking a look at one of them, which is practical nursing. So at the back of the catalog, again, you're going to find these 55 pages. That's what's going to go into the mission, description, the program structure, and then it's going to show you here how many hours, clock hours it's going to take to complete the program. So this 1350 is going to be about a year and a few months afterwards for you to complete this program. And then you can go right into the workforce. I mentioned earlier about the credits to Valencia. So once you complete this program of 1350 hours, you will see that this certificate will equate to up to 12 credits to Valencia, because then you can go on to become an RN, and from there you can even go on to UCF and get your master's in nursing. So you can see the connection and the career different pathways that you have to look into. So as I said earlier, if you go into the catalog and you see a career that really interests you, then you can go ahead and make those school tours and go into a classroom and kind of see what it's about and see if that would pique your interest, if something you would be interested in. Next, Brittany is showing you our educator, and that as well as on our website is the orangetechnicalcollege.net website. And here on page 9, this is a shorter pamphlet, if you will, on our internet website. And it tells you about the careers, and one we're looking at, let's just say, is digital cinema production. And that is one of the careers that you'll find more in-depth information in the catalog. But here it really tells you what career you could get. You can be a producer, you can be a director, you can be a film and video editor. And this also aligns to the film production and so forth. And she's scrolling down a little bit and showing you some more, which is fine. But you can see how this is a quick snapshot of the careers. And then if you want to get a little bit more in depth about the program, then you can go to the catalog. So hopefully this is a great tool for you to go out to the website. And again, that's orangetechcollege.net. And you'll be able to see these wonderful careers and how they relate to which kind of jobs you can receive, and then get a little bit more in depth of the description. And then some of them, again, will articulate over to another college, which is really a great pathway for our students.
Okay, we just talked about career and technical education. Please type any questions you might have about CTE or something that really stood out to you in the chat. Also be ready to unmute. Be ready to unmute just in case we need to call on you for some more information.
Yes, students can do dual enrollment at Orange Technical College. We talked about that earlier. And you can take some dual enrollment classes at the high school, and you can be transported by bus, over to one of our technical college campuses that I showed you earlier, and go and split your time between high school and the college, and then you would go back to high school to finish your day. So we do offer both dual enrollment at the high school and Orange Technical College.
I just put into the chat as well the Valencia College dual enrollment website, which is where you can get all of the information for the dual enrollment program at Valencia. All of the Florida public universities have to accept Valencia dual enrollment credits. So that would be UF, UCF, UNF, UWF, FIU, FAU, all 12 of the public universities. Any other college may accept Valencia dual enrollment credits, but you would want to call those colleges to see if they do accept the Valencia dual enrollment credits.
Hi, it's Betsy. We've had a couple questions that kind of all go together, so I'm going to synthesize those. What is the best way to get one-to-one support for specific concerns, either CTE or college and career? Where can they go, either in their school or as a district?
So every high school has obviously school counselors. Every high school also has a college and career specialist and a college and career center. And every school has a career specialist as well that specializes in CTE. So the best bet, if you don't know where these people are located, is to start with your student services department and your school counselors. And then they can put you in contact with either the college and career specialist or the career specialist at each high school.
I also see here that we had someone say that their eldest son did 1 year of dual enrollment at the downtown Orange Technical College. and she mentioned that it was a great program. And I agree. We have some programs that are less than 600 or at 600 hours. And if your student starts as a junior in the high school and take 300 hours, which is 150 each term, and then they go into their senior year and take the other 300, you can potentially leave high school having completed your certificate tuition-free, debt-free, and you can go right into the workforce. So I cannot share enough how great dual enrollment is, even with the other colleges that we mentioned earlier.
And then one more synthesized question. We've had a lot in the chat, in both the Q&A and the chat section. Our attendees really want to know a little bit more about college dual enrollment versus AP. How do they transfer those credits, and what are the implications of taking dual enrollment or AP for their college?
Okay, so both directions or pathways are great paths onto college after. A couple of things that you would need to think about is if the credits, as for instance, Valencia, will transfer to the college that your student wants to attend. AP courses, you do have to pass a test. Usually colleges accept 3s or higher. Sometimes it's a 4 or 5 on an AP test at the end of the year in order to be granted college credits. Some colleges, like our Ivy Leagues and things like that, may prefer AP courses only because the curriculum is consistent. So a student taking AP Lit in Florida will be taking the exact same AP Lit test that a student in California or New Jersey or anywhere in the US are taking. If a student takes Freshman Comp 1 at Valencia, it's going to depend on the professor. If a teacher is going to teach literature or poetry or grammar or what the teacher is teaching, so the colleges are not sure what the students are learning in those classes at dual enrollment. Because we are in Orlando and close to Valencia College, a lot of colleges in the nation are understanding that a lot of our students are doing dual enrollment classes at Valencia. Either route is a great route to college. It just depends on the student. Does the student want to be at the school 7 periods a day, want to be involved and take AP courses at school? Does a student want to leave campus and go to Valencia? Is a student mature enough to sit in a class with a teacher at Valencia where the teacher does not know that they're a high school student? So there are plenty of questions that need to be answered when you're trying to decide if a student should be taking AP courses or dual enrollment courses. So the first step with that would be your school counselor in order to get more information, and then possibly the college and career specialist after that.
And I do see another question, which I think is an awesome question. Annetta Whitney, she says, if your student desires to go to a university, but wants to get a vet assisting certificate while in high school, is this possible? And I think that is awesome. And why I say that is, you have so many different career paths, and the world is yours, if you would like to say, that you can go out there and you can get as much education as you can. So while you're in high school, you can do the dual enrollment. I'm not 100%, I don't have the list in front of me if vet assisting is one of them. However, even if you come in as an adult once you get your high school diploma and want to get your feet wet into one of our certificates, and then you complete that certificate, and then you go on to another college or a university and you get another different kind of career. It's always good to have multiple careers. As you can see, during the pandemic, we've had a lot of people that had to shut down, and then they had to go possibly find a different route or a different career at any age, if you will. So please keep in mind that all options are open, and you can seek many different careers during your lifetime and always have something good to fall back on. Even like she mentioned with the vet assisting, that could be something like not so much a hobby, but if you love pets and animals and so forth, that may be something that you would like to do. Sometimes they have part-time jobs while you're going off to a college and going into a different career. So please keep in mind there's so many options out there for students, and they are more than welcome to step into any different pathway at any different time to be successful in the workforce.
And we do have students that are doing AP and dual enrollment classes, or dual enrollment tech school and Valencia dual enrollment, or students who are taking AP courses at the high school and then leaving school to do a tech dual enrollment. So there is a variety of combination that students can do between all of the dual enrollments.
And I love just what I read again here. It says, my child is doing the welding program, is doing great. So again, either Orange Technical College, Valencia, and these other colleges do accept dual enrollment classes. Okay, let's move on in the presentation and talk a little bit about financial aid. That is really important. So you will see here on the slide, financial aid is real important when you're participating in any college or technical career, and you can find financial aid through many different options. And there'll be a link, I think, going in to the presentation regarding the FAFSA form, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. And so as you can see, there are several forms of financial aid assistance available for those seeking college or career pathways. So you can see we have grants. We have federal grants, which is the Pell Grant, and we have state grant, which we have a Florida Student Assistant Grant. Most colleges offer the Work Study program. They offer student loans. I will share with you just on a sidebar, since I work with the Orange Technical College, we do not offer student loans. We feel very proud that we can get our students, because we are very affordable and we charge at a clock hour rate per hour, that we can get through all these other types of financial aid where the students do not need to seek a loan, so they can leave receiving their certificate debt-free and going right into the workforce. However, other schools like Valencia and UCF and UF and such, they do offer student loans that they may need to help you pay for your college education. Also, there's scholarships out there, and we'll talk about that a little later on in the resource page that we will be giving you. I will share with you there are some free scholarship searches on the intranet. The only thing I will caution you is that they should be free searches. Never pay for somebody to help you on the internet to find scholarships, because again, the two websites that we will share with you are free, and you'll be able to go out there and apply for multiple scholarships to hopefully help you with the college education. And also, veteran educational benefits is really important when you step over to the adult side after you graduate from high school, because sometimes your parents may be in the military and they have educational benefits, and they can pass down their educational benefits to the student to use. So that is very worthy for those going into the military. As I said earlier, we're going to talk about the FAFSA a little bit here if you haven't already heard about it. But every October 1, which just happened last Friday, seniors are able to go out there now and apply through the FAFSA form. They're able to put up to at least 6 or 10 college codes on there of where they think they would like to go. And so they can get ahead of the game and try to apply for as much financial aid and see what they can get before they graduate from high school. And right now you can receive up to $6,495 in Pell Grants. Again, we talked about you may qualify for work study where you work on campus. And then we talked about those loans at the other colleges like Valencia and UCF and UF and some others as well.
Okay. So on to another type of financial aid would be the Florida Financial Aid application. This one opened October 1st as well for seniors. So this would be the first time. So the FAFSA, I saw a question in the chat really quickly. The Fafsa opens October 1st for seniors in order to receive funding for the following school year when they're in college. And they will fill out a Fafsa every year in college for the following year. So here in Florida, we are very lucky to have a Florida financial aid application where you can get up to 14 different scholarships and grants. So a lot of you will know this kind of as the Bright Futures application, but it does reach up to 13 different scholarships and grants. It only takes into account student information. And like I said, it has just opened October 1st for seniors. The Florida Academic Scholarship and Florida Medallion Scholarship look at the GPA, test score, and community service hours. As long as the students have met these requirements by the end of their senior year, they will receive the scholarship for college the following year. The Bright Futures only takes into account 16 high school courses. And then the GPA will be a weighted Bright Futures GPA. There is a third Bright Future Scholarship that a lot of people do not know about. It's the Florida Gold Seal Vocational Scholarship. The students need 3 full credits in a single career and tech ed program, along with the other requirements. This scholarship, though, can only be used for technical certifications and AS degree programs. Bright Futures is not just for 1 year. You would apply, you have to have an application on file before you graduate your senior year of high school. And then it would stay with you for the 4 years while you were at college, or actually up to 5, pending how many credits you need. Every year, as long as you stay up with what they need you to.
Please type any questions you might have about financial aid in the chat.
I don't know a specific scholarship for first generation and college students. I'm trying to think. There's a Bridges to Success scholarship at Valencia. And there's other scholarships for first generation students. The best bet a lot of times is just to Google, like Google first generation and college scholarships. You sign up for Bright Futures and the Fafsa your senior year. So right now at our high schools, all college and career specialists are focusing on the Fafsa and the Florida financial aid application right now. So you will be working on filling out an FSA ID, getting your Fafsa started, and all of that kind of stuff at the high schools if you are a senior. So for community service hours, you can start those as early as 9th grade. They do have to be documented on the high school transcript. So there is a process at each high school how to get those hours on a transcript. For information on where to do community service, I would talk to your school counselor, depending on where you live, because there might be, so there's Give Kids the World, you could feed the homeless, First Harvest, things like that. But you might want to talk to your school counselors to see. A lot of the websites for high schools have a list as well as popular community service choices.
And I also see in here a question, is the vocational scholarship only for seniors, or can juniors use for the technical school? Keep in mind, we talked about dual enrollment being free tuition. So if you do dual enrollment and you still need a few more hours left to take to complete your certificate, then after you graduate from high school, you would go into your first semester, possibly at Orange Technical College. And for us, as a senior going as an adult into to complete your certificate, we do offer a vocational scholarship. So currently it is only for seniors, if I'm understanding the question correctly, but there is definitely a scholarship because we want you to come over and complete your certificate at Orange Technical College. I also saw a lot of questions real briefly about college tours. I can only speak for the Orange Technical Colleges and those 5 campuses I mentioned earlier. You don't need to make an appointment or any kind of application or such. All you need to do is find on our website the locations. You can contact the schools and tell them you're interested in a specific program and tell them you would like to come on campus and take a tour. It's as easy as that. They'll set up a time. When you get there, someone will greet you. They will take you into one of the classes. It may be like cosmetology. You'll go in there and you'll see the actual students working on people's hair and such. That's just one example. Or you can go to any of those other careers that we talked about earlier. And after that, you can go to multiple tours. It just doesn't have to be one program. We like students to know if they're unsure about their career path, that there's always other options out there. And again, as we mentioned earlier, you can take as many careers in your lifetime that you want to really find out what is enjoyable and what you are really liking to do. Because keep in mind, working out in the workforce and being in your career, you really want to like what you're doing and be successful at the same time.
One thing really quick that we did not touch base on, the Fafsa and the Florida Financial Aid application. In order to get federal or state funding, students do have to be U.S. citizens or eligible non-citizens, which is permanent residents, asylum granted, or refugees. If you have a social security number, you can fill out those forms. You should definitely fill out the Bright Futures and the Florida Financial Aid application. Because you have 5 years to reinstate the Florida Financial Aid application after a student has graduated. You can fill out those forms and see if you would qualify for any federal or state funding, but that would be for U.S. citizens and eligible non-citizens.
And it's a few more questions I see here. We will be providing those free scholarship websites at the end of this presentation. And I do hear that you will be getting a copy of this presentation later. And the last question, I think for now, we have, so if both parents work but are close to retirement, would the student still qualify for any type of grant? Keep in mind, the Congress comes up with a methodology every year of who's going to qualify for the grants. Please don't get discouraged. If for some reason you may not qualify the student for a Pell Grant, because you still may be eligible for the Florida grant. See, they don't go hand in hand. So we always tell the students, like Nicole said earlier as well, is everybody should apply through the FAFSA form. That is a really big component to see if you can get any federal and or state aid. So I think we're going to go ahead and move on for time's sake. And again, you'll get a copy of these presentations, and any questions we may have missed, we'll definitely take a look at them, answer them, and put them out as a resource to everyone that's on the meeting today. But let's go into about the parents lastly. We just wanted to share with you what Orange Technical College offers. And there are 7 adult general education programs. And we call this kind of like a career pathway as well. And as you can see the 7 over to the side, we have adult basic education. We have adult English for speakers of other languages called ESOL. We have adult ESOL college and career readiness. We have adult high school, applied academics for adults education, English literacy for career and technical education, which is called ACATE, and GED preparation programs. So keep in mind that any of our 5 campuses offer these types of programs. And if, let's say, you finish one of these programs, you can do a career pathway over to one of those 55 career and technical education programs that we mentioned earlier. So we didn't want to leave the parents out in this presentation as well. So we do offer some really great programs if you should seek one of these out. All right, let's write in the chat one next step you will commit to. So again, what is one next step you commit to taking to support your student on their career or college path? We'll give you a few moments. Again, what will you commit to taking to support your student on their college or career path? And you can write this in the chat.
Love it. Having my child speak to their school counselor. I love it. Having him get on SCORE. Love it. Volunteering. Never too early to start.
We have a question here. What if the student doesn't have a clue as to what career they want to do? That's where we focus on going out into the catalog, especially with the career and technical schools, and seeing and reading the descriptions and kind of seeing what may pique your interest. And we talked again about those school tours.
And getting on SCORE to do the U Science Career Interest Inventory is a great place to start.
We did have a question whether or not parents had access to SCORE and how they could best support their child with that. They know that they're doing it at school sometimes, but they kind of want to be involved in that.
I believe that parents do have access to SCORE. I know they had access to Naviance, but we will need to look further into it to make sure that they do have access and what that looks like for them.
I love fill out the FAFSA form. That is number one.
Okay, so on to some resources to assist you on your journey of college and career readiness for your student and maybe even yourself. A resource document will be shared with you later as well. One thing I wanted to point out is we did just have a financial aid night for the district on September 23rd. So that was all of the financial aid information that we just gave, but over actually an hour and a half presentation with Daniel Barkowitz from Valencia College. That is already posted on our OCPS College and Career YouTube channel, as well as our presentation that we just did in Spanish. So one of the great resources we have is this OCPS College and Career YouTube channel. We have different Spill the Tea episodes where we interview different college admissions reps and different people in the college and career field, as well as step-by-step, how to complete the FAFSA step-by-step will be posted as well soon on our College and Career YouTube channel. There's the college checklist, the College 101 event recordings, as well as the different financial aid scholarship websites. OCPS also has a scholarship bulletin that's posted on the OCPS website. So again, contact your college and career specialist at your school to see how they advertise all of our local scholarships.
So in closing, I wanted to pop in for just a moment, and my name is Leanne Bradshaw, and I work with the professional learning in our parent and family engagement department, and we are appreciative of both Nicole and Terry Ann and the high school office and all of the team for helping our parent and family engagement team put on this event for tonight. So thank you for attending our session on college and career conversations. As you can see on the screen, there is a graphic for you to start thinking about and what you should know, act, and go. This overview was really intended to provide you with some information on enriching and diverse pathways for college and careers. So start thinking and talking about your students' career goal and take what you learned from this session to help them prepare for their path. This is the time to start now and make appointments with the school counselor or your career specialist, as Terry Ann and Nicole mentioned. Also, go after your promising and successful future. And you can see in the chat box that our team has been dropping documents and information for each career specialist in OCPS. So you can check out the chat box. And you can click on the link and you can save the documents, but as they shared, we will have these resources available. We have YouTube channels, we have a Parent Academy site and so forth. So we'll make sure that everyone has that. There will be a recording of the resources and of this session, and it'll be available. You will receive an email with directions on how to access, and you will also have dropped into your chat box a survey about tonight's presentation. So we would like for you to complete the survey to give us some information to inform our practice for future parent sessions and what can be helpful. But again, contacting your school, your student services office at the school, those guidance counselors, your career specialist at your school, they will be helpful to answer those questions. But I just wanted to say thank you from our entire team as we are hitting our 7 o'clock hour. Thank you for attending, and we appreciate the parents. And any last word from any of our panelists, I'll turn it back over to you.
I just want to thank everyone for attending, and as you can see with the presentation, you have many different career pathways to be thinking of now in your junior and your senior year. And good luck, everyone.
Yes, and please use all the resources you have at your high schools. Our college and career specialists and school counselors are always there ready for you. So please go to them with any questions you have, and you might even see myself or one of my teammates out of the schools, and we'll be happy to help as well.
Thank you, everyone, for attending, and we hope you have a wonderful evening.
Goodbye.